There are two pathways for heavy metal detoxing, and which path you choose is going to depend on your outlook, but also you can depend on the severity of the issue you're coming to heavy metal detoxing with, versus maybe you just want to detox heavy metals not for a specific health issue, but just because you know everyone's exposed to them. And one path involves a more natural approach, using herbs like cilantro to naturally detox heavy metals, to do it in the most natural way possible, and typically also to do it more gradually and gently, although we're definitely not going to do it as fast as possible with the other way as well. It can take years if you're super toxic. So the other path is going to be less natural, using things like ALA, alpha lipoic acid, and DMSA to detox. And generally, I think those things are more effective. You're going to have to do your own research. It's just you have to decide if the benefits of doing it all naturally and the cons of doing it in an unnatural way are worth, if those things are slightly more effective. So some people have really intense conditions as a result of heavy metal toxicity. In these cases, one reason you might want to go with the DMSA and ALA is because any kind of risks or negative effects of those unnatural compounds are going to be way offset by the fact that you want to detox the heavy metals as quickly and effectively as possible. So what those do is they free up the heavy metals and then bond to the heavy metals and bring them out of your body. However, if you don't do these protocols properly with the DMSA and ALA, you can really mess yourself up. You can bring all the heavy metals out, but then if you don't bind them and get them out of your system, they'll redeposit somewhere else, and people can end up permanently injured by not following proper protocols. Go read the book. I forgot the name of the book, but there's this book I've been reading about it. Just check it out down below in the description of the video. With that book, you can really do the protocol yourself. You just need to make sure you're doing it properly. And this book is about how to do it with ALA, DMSA. Anyways, if you aren't suffering from some extreme condition, you just want to get the heavy metals out of your body because you know you've probably been exposed, things like just increasing the amount of cilantro in your diet really has no downsides, and stuff like that. So this is an interesting video because this is something I've been thinking about as far as heavy metal detoxing goes. And I'm pretty sure the condition that I have isn't being caused by heavy metals, or else I would go the first route. The first route, you can spend thousands of dollars getting all the pills. Because you don't want to let the things redeposit, you have to take these pills every 4 hours for like 3 or 5 days at a time. And then you can do up to 50 rounds of those 3 to 5 day sessions. And every 4 hours, you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're not doing it every 6 hours. You're not doing it every 8 hours. You're doing it every 4 hours. 6 times a day, 24 hours for 3 to 5 days. So it's a really intense protocol, but if you're suffering from heavy metals, you need to get them out, so it can be really effective. And so the reason I'm making this video is because you get into heavy metals, it can be confusing. You kind of need to take one path or the other. When you're doing the more intense, less natural approach, you actually kind of want to avoid cilantro because it's going to mess with the process. So if you're looking into heavy metals, hopefully this video can help you understand the two paths you might go down. And as you do more research, you find the different information, you're going to understand you kind of do need to choose one path or the other. And even regardless of the situation, some people just believe in one path more than the other. Personally, I'm not sure where I stand on that. But for now, I think I'm just going to eat more cilantro because I don't think I'm that heavy metal toxic. So anyways, for the first path, DMSA, ALA, you are probably going to have to do some kind of heavy metal test to verify the toxicity. You can do hair, you can do urine. Which one is more effective is a controversial subject. If you want to use urine because you think it's more accurate than hair, you need to do it properly and start with a unprovoked urine test to get a baseline, because you're not just testing how many heavy metals. What you're actually testing is how many more heavy metals come out after you use something like the DMSA or ALA to free them up. And so in order to do that test, you need to take a high amount of that. And so in order to make the urine test accurate, you have to take a risk because you're starting off with a big dose of that. You could just go do a whole round of detoxification first to lower the risk, but then you don't even know how toxic you are. So if you're doing that, ideally you go through some detoxification first and then you test. But then you don't know even how toxic you were before you started detoxing. So like I said, how you can bring them out and not flush them out and the heavy metals redistribute. When you're doing a provoked test, you're bringing them out and they're coming out of your urine. And so you're taking a large amount to see how much will come out of your body when you take the DMSA or ALA or whatever it is. So you can do that, and then hair tests can be more safe and stuff like this. But it's controversial how accurate they're. I don't know how, like, it's a controversial subject. I'm just reading this book, like, I don't know. So one last thing about that protocol is you do the testing. It can be risky to redistribute it. Yeah, I don't know. That might be everything. But yeah, this just gives you a broad overview of the different approaches. So the reason people who use these unnatural compounds is because heavy metal toxicity is something that's part of modern society. It's something that our bodies aren't adapted to. So maybe you do need an unnatural, maybe not every problem in modern society can be cured with natural means when they come from non-natural sources. But some people might think that the natural approach is still always better and can be just as effective. This is a very controversial subject. A lot of modern medicine really denies the implications that heavy metals have in a lot of conditions. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything. That's a broad overview. Let me know if this was helpful. Leave any questions below. Check out the book I mentioned. It'll be in the description.